Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. What a delight to be with you again on a Friday evening. And no, Thursday evening. Friday is tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing. Now, we got sent an email by Chameleon, Chameleon is a Sudoku genius and a tech programming genius as well. We are big fans of Chameleon. I would turn that phone off, but I'd still get those notifications weirdly. Chameleon had seen some puzzles by Egg Fried Cheese, and he says this puzzle is good. What is so incredible about it is that that Egg Fried Cheese started constructing puzzles 2 days ago. Chameleon's email was yesterday, so this is now 3 days ago, and this is only Egg Fried Cheese's third puzzle, and it's extremely good for that early in a setting career. So I'm going to give it a go and we'll see how good it is. I trust Chameleon implicitly, so I expect it is very good. You can try it on the link under the video. But before you do that, don't forget that on Patreon we have all the fun of the fair, the new monthly reward hunt. There are some 5 Sudokus to do in it. The first 2 are medium hard, the next 2 are quite hard, and the last one very easy once you've done the first 4. I believe that's the way it goes, and that's sort of borne out by what I'm reading on Discord and in comments and emails and feedback. So thank you to everybody who's had a go. Many people have done the full set already and exited from the fun fair, and well done to them. There's also all our merchandise and Sven's SUDOKU PAD available in the links under the video, and all our apps. We have 9 of those, all sorts of handcrafted Sudoku, and some great stuff there. So loads going on around the channel. We will stream, I believe, next week at some point. Simon is at his golf tournament as I write. You may already have been able to research how he's done today. I don't know quite how they update that. Anyway, let's see how we get on with eggs. Ooh, here comes a pronunciation that some of you will hate. I say eggs second rodeo. Now, I believe that a lot of people, especially where the genre is popular, say rodeo. So apologies to people like the constructor Coyote, who I know believes I pronounce their name wrongly regularly. Anyway, there are some variations, and I think even Americans would accept there are more than one way to pronounce coyote and rodeo. And anyway, I'm going to have a go at Egg's second rodeo. It's not my first rodeo. It's clearly not Egg's first rodeo. But we're going to have a look at this puzzle, and we're going to go through the rules now. So what we have is normal Sudoku rules applying. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Digits, just normal killer and thermo rules, if you know what they are. Digits cannot repeat in a cage and must sum to the value given. I don't think the geometry of the grid would allow digits to repeat in a cage by normal Sudoku rules. So those 3 will add up to 19. And along a thermometer, digits must increase starting from the bulb end. So there we go. That's all there is to it. Give it a try on the link under the video. I am going to start now. Let's get cracking. Well, there are 7-cell thermos here, and if your name is Goodliffe, the way to get cracking is to write all the candidates on all the cells of those in case they show some pattern, triple, quadruple, impossibility, something like that. So we learn that these 2 cells in box 5 are at least 7s. Now, I will immediately share an important secret with you that you may know already. But it's important to remember that every row, column, and box in a Sudoku adds up to the same number. And we know what the number is, because 1 to 9 always adds up to 45. So in this box, we have 5 cells that add up to 21, including the only given digit we have, the 2. These 2 add up to somewhere between 15 and 17, taking our total up to 36, 37, or 38, and leaving only 9, 8, or 7 for these cells. But that's not enough to get going. I'm going to look, in case it's helpful, at, well, I mean, I suppose it's a tiny bit of set theory, but this is very basic. So let's colour that row yellow. Now, we know that that's a set of the digits 1 to 9 because it's an individual row of a Sudoku puzzle. Let's colour the 3 cages in these rows yellow, and we'll colour them purple. And we know what they add up to because we're given the totals, and that total is 48, 3 more than the total of yellow. Let's eliminate the common digits, and we're eliminating X from purple, X from yellow, Y from purple, Y from yellow, Z from purple, Z from yellow, 2 from purple, 2 from yellow, etc. So we must be eliminating exactly the same amount, not necessarily the same digit. Well, actually, yes, the same digits, but it doesn't matter because purple can have repeat digits in. But certainly the same amount. And now we know that, again, purple is yellow plus 3. Yellow now, 5, 6, well, yellow as a pair add up to 11, 12, or 13. So purple add up to 14, 15, or 16, and that wasn't as conclusive as I was hoping. I might leave those coloured in. Okay, I'm going to go and do the next Goodliffe thing. Sven's software is rather marvellous in that if you hold down the mouse on a thermo cell, it finds, for any sort of individual unbranching thermo, it finds the equivalent cell in the grid, and you can number them all. Right, okay, well this has helped me. It's helped me spot this 3, 4, 5, 6 item. This cell can only contain 3, 4, 5, or 6 based on the thermo it's on. Now that has ramifications here, because I don't think this can begin with a 3 now in this digit. Because if it did, this thermo, it would have to increase in steps of 1 all the way up to 9 at the end. It would have to go 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to stop there and invite you to see what's wrong with that. It would break row 8, column 3. If this started with a 3, it would have to go 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's no candidate to put there. So it doesn't start with 3. The same's true over this side. 3, 4, 5, 6 would break that. Now, here we have 2, 3, or 4. Can we do the same sort of trick horizontally? Yes, slightly. This can't be 4, or this would go 4, 3, 2, 1, and this would have no possible fill. So that's not a 4. That means this isn't 5 and this isn't 6. The same is true up here because of that 2, 3, 4. And it narrows down some of the candidates. It hasn't really done anything, I'm afraid. Okay, I need to think of something else. These cage totals don't seem big enough to really cause any issues. Purple is yellow plus 3. Oh, lovely, yes. Where does 9 go in column 3 and column 7 for that matter? It doesn't go on these cells of a thermo because 9, if it's on a thermo, can only be on the tip. Therefore, 9 is in one of these 2 cells, and that is a really useful thing. Now this can't be 9. And that has ramifications all the way down its thermo. We can do exactly the same, I believe, over here. The symmetry is maintained at least that far. This can't be 9, that can't be 8, or 7, or 6, or 5, or 4. Now we have a 1-3 pair of bulbs looking up and down the central column. That means that these 2 purples are at least 4 and 5. They add up to 9, making does it restrict these at all? Not enough. But hang on, we've cut this down to 3, 4, or 5. Now there ought to be an effect of that on this thermo. There is. Yes, 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 that's lovely. So this sort of stacking problem that we created when this was 3, 4, 5, 6, it only led to a slight adjustment on this thermo. But I think we go a bit further with 3, 4 or 5. We can now say that this isn't 5. Because if this was 5, this would have to go 5, 4, 3. I'll stop there, but you can see that it would have to. This is the 5th cell on a thermo. If it's 5, all the cells before it on the thermo are forced. And if that went 5, 4, 3, we've broken this cell again. So this yellow cell is not 5. I think we can do the same on the other side. Yes, we can. That's not 5. Actually, they have effects. Oh, they have effects going up their thermos. 1 digit is removed from each cell. And now we have an 8, 9 pair in the central box. And we can use the secret, the magic of the secret on the central box. 17 there plus 21 in the pentomino is 38. These two add up to 7. These two red cells. They're either 1, 6 or 3, 4. Now we know that yellow adds up to 13. So we know that purple adds up to 16. And these cells in the central column cannot be 1, 3 because of that pair, 2 because of that, or 8, 9. So they are from 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we can be much more intelligent now about the middle row. This is actually going to get us digits, I think. I'm not sure, but we'll see. My question about the middle row is where does 9 go? Now I noticed early on that this 11 cage can't have a 9. I didn't think it was all that helpful because 9 could still go there in the box. That was sort of what led me to ask the question about 9 in the column actually. Because 9 had to be in one of those cells and one of these cells. Anyway, I didn't mention that. It was going on in my head. But now I'm wondering where 9 goes in this row. And I'm not really wondering. I know which cage it goes in. It's not in the 11 cage because you would need 2 1s to make up the cage. It's not here because we've got an 8, 9 pair in that box. It's obviously not in yellow cells. It's in one of those two. Now, that doesn't help me make up the 16 cage, which needs another 7. But you notice that that was an 8, 9 pair as I flashed through there. And you're wondering where 8 goes in this row because you're very smart. 8 does not now go in the 16 cage, or 2 of its digits would already add up to 17. 8 can't be in the central box because of the 8, 9 pair. 8 goes in the 11 cage. And what goes with 8 to make up 11? Only 1 and 2. So we can fill in our first digit in the puzzle after 9 minutes. That's pretty impressive for a puzzle early in a constructor's career. And then the other digits are 1 and 8. Now we know that 1 is in one of these red cells in the central box because it can't be here anymore because of the 1, 8 pair. And we know they add up to 7, so they are 1 and 6. There's no 6 in those purple cells. We may be able to add up purple in a moment, but first I'm just going to see what else we've got. This is 3, 4, 5 and 9 still to be placed. Those are from 3, 4, 5. And the 3 in the box must be in one of those cells. So these are from 4, 5 and 9. One of them is a 9. And that means this cell is either 2 or 3. Now, let's try and add up purple, which we know has to add up to yellow plus 3. So it's 16. Take away that, 14. One of these is a 7. Oh, bother. So it's either 7, 4, 3 or 7, 5, 2. We can't resolve that finally. But we've got an 8, a 1, 8 pair in box 4. So that cell becomes a 7. Now we can do some work on that thermo, but we can go across to the other yellow cell and do that. 8, 9 in the central box, 8 over there. Yeah, the 7 worked upwards on its thermo and the 6 worked downwards. This is now not a 7, and we've placed 7 in purple. These two add up to 7. Is that all I get? That's a little surprising. No, look, I can do the 3, 4, 5 trick again, but it's going the other way. Previously I started with a 5 there and went down the thermo, i.e. up the grid. Now I'm going to look here and look down the grid, i.e. up the thermo, and I'm going to say that this can't be a 3, because then you'd get 3, 4, 5 here and you'd break this cell. So that is now a 2, and that's a 1. That's not a 2, that's not a 3. Now, that is 4 or 5. That is quite limited. So this can't be 4 anymore, or we would be going 4, 5, 6. That can't be 4. That works down. Okay, that didn't give me as much as I thought. Even though that cell has fewer, I suppose it's because this is a 7, not a 6. This cell has fewer candidates than that one, but it seems to be doing a bit less work on the thermo it's looking at. Now, what can go here? 9 does. I don't know. If this was... I don't know. 3, 2, 3. These are using whatever's left over from that thermo. So it's all from 3, 4, 5 and 9. 2 is in one of those cells. That's probably not going to help. Okay, let's keep looking at this column. I mean, I might have missed something very obvious. There's every chance. I do understand that. But I can only see what I can actually see, so I'm not too upset about that possibility. Now, is this right or is this wrong? If that is a 3, this is a 2, and the bulb here is a 1, then you can't have 1 in those cells, and 1 would have to be here in this row. Yeah, this works both in row 8 and row 2. So if that's a 3, you get 2 here, 1 there, and the 1 in row 8 now has to be here because of that 1. So 1, if that's not 3, it's a 1. So 1's in one of those 2 cells. And in row 2, already we can see, given that that is a 1, that 1 is in one of those 2 cells. I have a feeling that's not going to do anything. 7, 6, 1, 8, 2. Oh, 9 just gets placed in box 4. 2, 9, 7, 8. There's a 3 in one of these cells. That's just huge and obvious. Now, all the purples are going to be determined. That 2 means that this purple is going to have to be 5. Let me just see if I can prove that relatively straightforwardly without relying on the set theory maths that we memorized earlier. It's a bit of a futile exercise, actually, because if we weren't relying on that set theory maths, we wouldn't have got this far, I think. It's a very good puzzle, by the way. There's a lot going on in it. Now, I'm sure this has to be 5. Yes, this cage is now has to add up to 16 with a 5. So those aren't 5, so by Sudoku that's a 5. Now the purples and the yellows and the reds all add up to the same total. We might as well delete all our colours. We've used them, used and abused them, and we've got to this point. It's a 3, 4, 5 triple here. There's a 1, 6 pair there. These are from 1, 3, 4, 6. I'm a bit surprised we haven't got further. Maybe I haven't thought enough about this column. There is some constraint going on. If I was to use 9 and 4, 5 or 6, this 1 is already telling me there's a 1 in one of these cells. Is that interesting? I'm just thinking we're going to use up a lot of high digits if we'd have to put 1 there, 2 there and 3 there. This would still work. Oh, I've got a 3-4 pair in column 6. I hadn't seen that. These remaining cells in column 5 are 4, 6, 8 and 9. Maybe it's this row. What am I not spotting here? 8 and 9 still have to go into this row. 9 can't be there. 9 is definitely in one of these two cells in the row, and it's in one of those two, and that's an X-wing that we kind of already knew about. 5 and 9. 5 is definite. No, it's not definitely in one of those cells. 1, 2, 3. This can't be a 3, can it? Because that would have to be a 2, and that would break this cell. Now, is there something like that? No, we've got that digit. Again, we have to put 8 somewhere in this row, so it's in one of those two. And we have to find room for 9 in one of those two cells. 8 down here is in any of those. I don't know. I don't know how to use the 16 cage or the 18 cage yet. We're very close here. You can probably see the way through. But I have to do it myself. Them's the rules. 8, 7, 5. What am I missing? That is the same as that. Now one of those must be... No, it's not true that one of them must be 2 or 3. It could go 1, 4 there. Oh, maybe that would have an effect here. 3, 4, that would be 3. Oh, one of these two digits is a 4, based on the fact that one of these bulbs is a 3. And one of these is a 5, at least, could be both, and one of these is a 6, and one of these is a 7, and one of these is an 8. Now, what's that proving that I hadn't noticed before? I don't know. Maybe we need to consider this total, which... There are certain high digits that can't be in it. This 20 is quite constrained. It's either 875, and we'd know where the 8 goes, or it's got a 9 in it. No, I don't see what to do there either. Oh, goodness. As I said, I still feel like we don't have very far to travel on this journey, but we have to take another step still. Now, if one of these is a 4, and in that case, we run out 4, 5, 6, 7 along the end of the row. Up here, maybe it's harder up here. 4, 5, 6, 7 there. These would be from 3, 8 and 9. I just don't think high digits are constrained out of the vertical cages, so I'm not sure what that's telling us. Now, if that was a 1, we'd be going 2, 3, 4 or 5, 6. 4, 5 would be a triple, 1 there and 9 there. Now, something was nagging at me earlier that you couldn't have 9 and another high digit here. Okay. If you do have, I think maybe it's not that you can't have them, it's just that they have an effect. If you do have 9 and a high digit there, i.e. 5, 6, 7 or 8, then you've created a quintuple in the box, and that would be 4, forcing the rest of this thermo to be 6, 3, 2, 1. Now the alternative is obviously 9 and a lower digit. And then where does 6 go in the column? Okay, that's the answer. Where does 6 go in this column? Can this be a 9, 6 pair? And the answer becomes no, because then that's 5, 7, 8, and the 4 there makes that a 6, clashing with the 9, 6 pair. So 6 doesn't go in these cells, it goes here in the column. And although that doesn't do much for this line, it does do something for the 1 and the 6 there. That forces this not to be a 1, this is a 1, this is a 3, and that runs out all the way along its thermo and finishes it in one fell swoop. This is a 1 because it had to be in the row. This is now an 8, 9 pair that we can fill in. Row 2 is suddenly complete. A moment ago we had 1 digit in it, now we have all 9. That's lovely. I like that. I like when something stellar happens. That's a 1. This is a 3, 4 pair. Can't fill them in yet. Now, this cage doesn't have 7 or 8 in it. If you use digits that didn't include a 9, the most you could have is 6, 5, 4. They only add up to 15, so we are going to use a 9 in it. There. That fixes 5, 9. The other 2 digits add up to 7. They can't be 3, 4 or they'd break that cell. They can't be 5, 2. They are 1, 6. We get 2 on this bulb. 3. Yes, we can finish the thermo. 4 there. And now we can put in 1 and 9 up here. No wonder it worked when I thought about the possibility. The other cells in the box are 2, 3 and 4. Down here, this is a 5, 7, 8 triple that we can't resolve. Now, this row, something must have happened. That's not a 3. Is that all that's happened? It can't be. No, that creates, well, maybe we've had this for a while, a 4, 5 pair. I don't quite know how long we've had that. If I've been staring at that and not seeing it, whoopsie. Now that's a 4, 5, 9 triple, so this is 6. Oh, both those thermos end 6, 7, 8, surprisingly. 8 fixes the 1, 8 pair. We could almost start entering beast mode at this point. We've got a pair adding to 9 there is 4, 5. That's a 6, 7 pair. The 4, 5 gives us a 3 there. We get something's gone wrong because now I want to put 6 at the bottom. So we will go back a moment. Let's go back a long way because that 4, 5 pair was suspicious. How did that happen? I started marking this thermo. Yeah, that couldn't be a 3. This 4, 5 pair. Where's 8 in this column? I haven't got it penciled in anywhere. It's in one of these cells. That's what the problem there is. This wasn't a triple at all. The 4, 5 pair is genuine. That's a 3. Let's forget beast mode. These don't have a 3 in. In fact, the 4, 5 pair makes them an 8, 9 pair. There we go. That makes this a 7. Okay, these thermos don't end the same way at all. 6, 5, 4, 2. Right, that's different and has the potential to work. That's now a 5. Okay, this is still a 4, 5 pair there. That works fine. 3, 4, 8, 1. 1 down there in the corner. Flip across to the other corner. Do 6, 1. We can have 2 and 3 in these cells. In fact, we know the order. Then we've got 7 and 6 at the top of the grid in an order to be determined. We're looking in this row. 7 and 8 still to place. That can't be a 7. We've got that 3 and 4 pair. They are done by a 4 that we got. These can't have a 4 in, and that can't be a 4. The 4 in the central column's here. In a 20 cage, must be with 9 and 7. Now we are firing on most cylinders. 7 there, 8 there. That can't be 8 or 9. That's a 6. Let's go up to the top of the grid, fill in 8 and 9. This 19 cage needs another 11. Well, it can't use any of the digits in this cage already, so it's 5, 6 has to be. 7, 6. We get a 4 in one corner. Ooh, I see what we're going to get in the other corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light losing its religion. And we are finishing off now. What a lovely puzzle. That's really good. Thank you to Chameleon for the recommendation, but thank you especially to Egg Fried Cheese, whose name reminds me of Garlic Bread Fries, who's constructed for the channel before. But a wonderful debut. Egg's second rodeo. Not our first, but a very enjoyable one. And thank you for watching, as always, on the channel. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.